I'm gonna write some music. This is going to be for the next episode of Adventure Archives, not the one we're working on right now. I actually read the comments for the vlog where I was talking about changing up the music strategy. And the one thing I must not have explained properly is we're already reusing music. We've been doing that since, I think episode 50. The thing you might not know is that we used to write like 18 new songs every episode. 16, 15, 22, 19, 18, 18, 19, 17, 18, 16, 16. You get the picture. It is no wonder that I struggled with music so much. It's because we were writing just like a ridiculous amount of music. It is not that easy to write music. Writing music is extremely difficult. This is the funniest thing to me is when people complain about the music. My first thought is always, I don't disagree with you. A lot of the songs that I've made, I'm like, oh, they're not very good. On the one hand, I'm very proud of the amount of music we were able to write and the commitment and dedication that we've given it. But on the other hand, I'm like, yo, let's be realistic. Let's not write 18 new pieces of music for every episode. That's unreasonable. Some people suggested using royalty-free music. We do use royalty-free music on the side videos. So like any of my solo adventures, lots of times those have royalty-free music. But the reason we won't use royalty-free music in any of the main episodes is because I want to own everything in there. All of the visuals, all of the music is all original, except for the shout outs. And that is very satisfying that it's all original work. So does that clear things up? Basically, we used to write just a ridiculous amount of original music for every episode. Then we started reusing music so that we only had to write like 6 to 8 songs per episode. And now we're going to continue writing 6 to 8 pieces of music, but they are going to be limited to just a specific amount of days that we write the music. So with that, I'm going to work on music today. I'm going to focus, concentrate, not get distracted, and just have a nice, focused, good session. That's the way I like it. Talked about this before, but what I love about documentary style filmmaking is you never know what you're going to get. That final product is just a mystery until you finally edit it. And the same thing with music, especially when I don't have a prompt and it's just make a piece of music and you find out what happens. It's so much fun to just come up with something out of thin air and then see what it's going to be. So I have been rewatching Mad Men. I had originally watched the first 3 seasons and a little bit of the 4th. And then at some point I just stopped watching because I was like, dude, I cannot watch these people who are just all in desperate need of therapy. But I always figured that I would eventually go back and watch it again because there's just something so fascinating about that show. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I think it's that they give you so little of the interiority of the characters that you just feel like you're completely an observer. You're just observing these people and it's totally up to you on how you want to read them just based on what you're watching. And just the production design is so well done. It's like it draws you in and you just can't help but watch and want to know what happens next. Which, as I've said many times before, my #1 requirement for a show is I cannot wait to find out what happens next. Which, by the way, if you're interested in getting old TV shows for cheap, half-price books, man. People hated Game of Thrones ending so much that they're selling box sets, entire season box sets for like $5. So you know I picked those up and put them on my Plex server. This computer is the best computer I've ever owned. This is a M1 Max with 64 gigabytes of RAM and 4 terabytes of storage. These computers though are so amazing at doing so many things, but the weird kind of tragedy that's not actually a tragedy is that they are best when you use it for one thing at a time. It's like I can do so many things with this. I can have notifications popping up on the side. I can have internet browsers open, I can have messaging, I can have all this stuff at once. But when I feel the best and am using this computer to its maximum potential, it's when I have one program open and I'm just doing that. And it just seems kind of weird that something that can do so many different things all at once really serves me the best when I just use it for one thing at a time. I'm sure many of you will remember back in the early days of this vlog, I was changing my setup like every other day because I was never satisfied with any of it. This setup, I couldn't ask for anything more. I have been having so much fun just getting to the raw, unfiltered creativity from brain to screen. Speaking of products, I can't seem to decide how I feel about keeping boxes for old stuff. Ooh. There's certain boxes like iPhone boxes, I want to keep those. But do I really need this box for this iPad keyboard? Like, do I need to keep that? I can't decide. My Sony a7S III box, I want to keep this. The box for my tripod head, I don't know if that's necessary. Got some nice foam in here though. I feel like you could always use some nice foam. Okay, we have a package here from Bruce Phillips. Bruce has sent us all sorts of stuff in the past. Okay. Oh, tangerine, vanilla, cashew, macadamia. Man, you know I love some macadamias. Nature's Bakery brownie. You know I love those. Oh, come on, a little pouch. Congratulations on 212K. Huh. We've got 212 subscribers? That's not bad. Come on, man. All right, and what is this? This looks like a... Oh, right, he did tell me what this is. Wow. Oh, this is the heavy duty one. Oh, very nice. This is a small rig video head. I'm actually using one of their video heads right now, but the leveler is really crunchy. I don't know what's wrong with it. Anyway, all right, here we go. Oh, look how smooth that is. Very smooth. Thank you very much, Bruce. I will put all of this to good use. What should I do with this little bag? I love these little pouches, man. Come on, I love a good pouch. You know I love a good pouch. It is once again time to write narration. This setup is one of those things where I use it so rarely that I don't really need to optimize it that much more. But it would be nice if it were a little bit nicer than it is, because it's not great. All right, narration finished. One thing you should do is always check to make sure the recording is working, and don't just record half of the narration before you realize that the cable is broken. Fixing XLR cables is maybe the easiest non-trivial repair that you can do. It does require soldering, but it's very easy, and the parts are very easily accessible because they're made to be repaired. You know what, let's fix it right now. Let's fix it right now. First things first, you just unscrew this part. Then you just take a look. You try to see if there's any frayed cables, which there are. You can see right there, this cable is no longer attached. So we'll just strip this wire a little bit and then resolder. It should be good to go. This one is also, how did these get so bad? It's weird. Check the other side real quick and make sure that that is okay. This one is just fine. I'm by no means an expert solderer, but when I open these, I'm often astonished at how bad the soldering is. Like, I don't do any better, but I would expect better from a company. I just do a good enough job that it'll stay for a little while. If I ever need to repair it again, I can always do that. XLR cables, as I understand it, are meant to take a lot of abuse because they use them on concert tours and they're having to constantly hook them up and unhook them and throw them around. So far, so good. Let's take a listen to the audio real quick. How does that sound? Does that sound like the cables have been repaired? Looking at the audio meters, it looks like that. We got the audio beef. Audio beef! Okay, so the other day I got distracted and I didn't finish what I was doing. But every now and then I need to go through old electronics boxes and make sure I'm keeping the boxes that I actually need and throwing away the ones that I don't. Well, like here, I have 2 MKE 400 boxes because when I got a warranty repair, they just sent me a brand new one. Do I need both? Absolutely not. I saw this YouTube video, I think it was like a 60 Minutes interview or something, and it was talking to some recycler who was saying that people put things in the recycling that just cannot be recycled, and he called it wish cycling, and he was almost like being derisive about it. Look, do not blame the end consumer for not knowing what is recyclable and what's not, when these packaging companies do not tell you. Or even worse, they used to put that little logo that looked like recycling, but it was just telling you what type of plastic it was. Had nothing to do with recycling. In recent years, what's been really great is they finally put instructions on whether it's recyclable or not. Look at this. It tells you what to do and even has a little handy website. And then here on this can, it says infinitely recyclable. But like this right here, see how it just says 1 with like a little triangle around it and it's supposed to look like a recycling label? No. This has nothing to do with recycling. This is just telling you what type of plastic it is. Plastic is very useful and I totally understand our dependence on it, but what a scam that triangle is. Like, it's purposely meant to look like a recycling label. Shameful. Shameful. Anyway, all of this is mostly cardboard, so hopefully it should be recyclable. But to be honest, who knows? Away with ye! Thank you very much for watching. That'll do it for today's vlog. We tried to see the northern lights. We weren't really able to see it with our naked eye, but my phone was able to capture a long exposure and you could kind of see it. So it was a little bit underwhelming, but we had too much cloud cover where we were. The next episode of Adventure Archives is very close to being done. It'll be out for patrons by the end of this week. If you're not a patron, now is a great time. It's a 2-hour episode from Virgin Falls in Tennessee. Just super relaxing, good vibes in the winter. Oh! I filmed a solo hike last week. That will be coming out after the public release of this Virgin Falls trip. And on that note, I'm gonna try to get like 1 solo video every month. That's kind of my end goal. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to get to that point, but if I can get on a 1 a month rhythm and then Adventure Archives every other month, I think that's a pretty good rhythm. But, oh, one more thing. I finally have Sea of Stars. I was waiting for a physical release. It has come out. Fantastic. I played about an hour and a half last night. I love it. Oh, it's so good. I've heard the story's not that interesting, but story's fine so far, and the gameplay is just so juicy, and those graphics and the music, wonderful. Just wonderful. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. Because it's not great. It is not great, Bob. Bob! Not great, Bob!